Okay, I'm going to show you how to administer an assessment that you made in Illuminate. So the first thing you want to go to is your Launchpad and go ahead and click on Illuminate, and it'll bring you to this screen. You could go, well, it won't show live proctoring just yet. So I go into Assessments and then View Assessments. Now, this is where it'll be different. If you created the assessment, then that's how you'll sort it. If someone shared it for you, that is how you would look for it too. So there will come up some options here. So these are all the assessments in the county. So you can look at those. If you created it, it'll say you want to search under created by me. If you shared it if someone shared it with you, you could click in there. And you can also do a search by the teacher's name. So for example, if I searched me, I don't know if I can search myself. No, apparently I can't. Oh wait, hold on. All assessments. I'm just curious now. Some of these videos are more for just me figuring it out too. But you can type in the teacher's name. You can also type in, oh yeah, so if I typed in Paraso, it brings up all of the ones that I've created. So if it's shared with you, then you could click on it. So here was the one that I made as a sample in a previous video. So we're going to go ahead and select that. Now you can actually, if you click action, if you want to see once it's been shared with you, you can preview it here. You can view the results. You can duplicate it so that way you can make your own copy and change questions if you've been given that permission. So you can do stuff from this right here. All right, so if you're going to go ahead, I would say just click on it for right now just to show you that, but the action button is definitely another option. All right, so the pop-up here can also be where you can go ahead and administer it, which would be under Administer, and you do online or dismiss. Let's say you close that because you didn't know that was something you could do. Again, the goal is you are administering it, so you want to go to administration. I know that it sounds like I'm emphasizing that. That's only because it took a while for that to sink in for me. Now, a lot of these, when I was first going through this, I was like, I don't know which one to pick. It's actually the online testing one. You're basically saying you want to administer this online. All right. So right now, I'm not administering it. It's not open, anything like that. But if you take a look up here, right, you can see that's the one because sometimes I forget. I'm like, oh, which one am I on? So it tells you the name of the assessment. You can preview the assessment. Now, testing in Portal, that allows you to kind of really, you get to set all of these guidelines. You can pick which classes get what, which students get what, and it delivers it directly to the students' Illuminate portal. So if they go into their Launchpad and do it that way, they will see the test. All they have to do is go in and click on it and get started. So that's one option. I have not played with that. I personally, I don't want them to know that they have something in there just yet. So what I'm going to do and what I have done with my students and they're used to now is that when I go to administer, I do test with quick code. So if you click that, it will generate a quick code, an access code for you to give your students. It's taking a little bit to do that. And so now it has the code. So if you click on this, it shows you what to show the students. You can take a screenshot of this. You could just type up directions, but that's essentially their directions for logging on. All right. Now, if you want to give a different access code for different classes, so that way, you know, it's not like it's open for all your classes. If you just clicking it, it will create a new code for as many times as you want. Okay. So for example, let's say this is my second period class. I would go into edit and I can actually go in here, and this is where all of the different guidelines are. When do you want it to start? When is the closing window? It automatically defaults to a week. So you do want to make sure you put that there, especially if it's a quiz or a test. You can allow them times to, like, if you don't want a time limit, if you want it to time them out, like if you're like, this is a 10-minute quick check, it should not take you more than 10 minutes, you can put the 10-minute there. They're allowed to pause. Let's say they get up to go to the bathroom, they fall sick, they can pause it. Um, this isn't as important because you can pause it on your end. We are going to do an online entry for this is for the open responses. They're going to actually type in. I'm not giving it to them written. You could password protect this. So there's a lot of different options there. Oh, that's where you randomize your choice order. So you can randomize. So if you want things shuffled, that's where that is. That was actually one of my questions. I just figured that out. Cool. Here are the different tools that you can give them. So if you want them to be able to have access to a calculator, you can. If you're like, well, no, they can't have a calculator, you can disable all of that. I'm wondering if it like this one is just automatic, if they're allowed to use it or not. You've got the highlighting tool. So you can make these tools available to them as you want. Math equation, not really sure what that looks like, but you can make that available to them. And then how they review it, this is where they would get to see their answers. You can always come back and change this if you're like, oh, I don't know when I want them to be able to look at their results. So you can say, yeah, you can see your results. You can see your results on this date and this time. No, I'm not going to give you the answer key. Yes, I am. All right, so I'll say yes, but I'm not going to give them the answer key. I want them to figure out what they might have done wrong. So that way they could do test corrections or something. Okay. All right. So you can see now that it's updating with that guideline. Then I could come in here and I could edit this one and set the window. So what happens is when you set the window, if they try to log in earlier than the window time, it will actually say that it is not available for them. So they won't be able to log in. Okay. So that is how you would administer that. And then that's when you can click on the assessment panel and you can watch them as they are taking their actual test. Now, if you wanted to share it, I have to remember where to go. If you go back to assessment detail, yep, here it is. And you scroll all the way down. You can also do it on that first window that I showed you. Here it's down here, it says sharing. If you want to share, you can click here. You can go over here to manage sharing. And then I would, let's see. Okay, yep, you scroll down. And who do you want to share with? You're going to share with a user. And then here, who do you want to share it with? You can just start typing their name. So for example, if I wanted to share it with Nathan, I want to share it with the rest of my team, Consola, Hampton. So now I've shared it with all of them. You, for the most part, want to click all of these. That way, the can view and download just means that they can look at it and they can download it as a PDF. The administer means that they can give that actual test or assessment to their kids. It will not mix with your data. The can edit means that they can't edit the actual one that you made, but they can duplicate it so that way they can make changes. So that's what all of those different buttons would mean. So you can share that and you can always go back in and change it. You can then remove rights as you see fit. I could just go ahead and hit remove all of them and say, you know what, I'm not going to share this with you guys anymore. Or I'm deleting it. I don't want you guys to use it by accident. So that's how you would share it with your team. And then they would be able to see it in their assessments. So they would go to their assessments, the view assessments, and they would search. And they would search the shared with me or by my name, and they could then look at it and they could create their own quick code that way. So I have to go into by created by me because it was created by me. But let's say we click shared with me. They would see this pop up. They would see my name under it. And right here, you can even share here. Here's where you can duplicate it and it will come up as a copy. And that way, if you need to change it or modify it for your group, that's where you can do that. But so that's how they would go through and do that. They could click administer here. And if you click administer there, it will take you to this panel and they can now create their own test code. So what would happen is it would say created by me, but there would be a column here for like your name, like if someone shared it with you, would be here. They would not have. They would have the option to edit their own personal one, but it would not impact others. So that is how you would administer a test in Illuminate.